Hi, welcome to our channel DC42 Reddit. I, 34F, have two young children. I started dating a man, 27 Mewum, 7 years younger than me, with no kids. Can this really work? I've been dating a really sweet guy for a couple weeks, but have a ton of insecurities with our 7-year age gap and me having two children. He seems cool about the concept of me having kids, but we aren't at a stage where I would try to actually incorporate them into our relationship. He's only met them once, and this was before we were involved. He is hyper-focused on building his business and does not want any children of his own right now. I'm not sure if that's a red flag, considering I have two. He is very kind and non-problematic. He works a lot, and so do I, in addition to single parenting. But when we have free time, we spend it together, and it's great. What are some likely expectations or pros and cons I should think through before getting attached in regards to our age gap and my having children? Can this actually work? Yes. Go for it. There's nothing wrong to try. Right, folks? How about you? Do you think the guy is a green flag for her? Just leave your comment down below. Now let's go to Reddit and see what others might think. From Must Love, Dogs had the 033-1, a good friend of mine whose husband had asked for a divorce because he wanted to be with his AP, met a guy who was 10 years younger. She was in her early 30s, he was early 20s. She had 3 children, he had none. They've now been married for over 20 years. They had twins together. He was sort of a yuppie guy, she was not. Odds were very much against them, but hey, looks like it was meant to be. Just make sure he's on board with being a step-parent and that you two agree on not having children together. And here's our next story coming up next. I, 20F, feel like my husband, 28M, is falling out of love. I have been married for the past 3 years. I can't help but to feel helpless in a way. He explained to me that he feels that I don't care about him, or that I'd much rather be better off by myself, and that I only care about myself, that he does everything in the relationship. But I really do care about what he has to say, and I hate making him feel sad or upset at the same time it makes me sad, or that whenever we're on the phone I don't have much to say. But I've always been that way. What much is there to say when you've said everything? He hates when there's silence, and it's a big deal to him that I don't have much to talk about. It's taking a big toll, but what else can I talk about? What am I supposed to say? Random shit. We're on the phone all day when he's not with me. I understand that I haven't been sending him pictures and calling him nice names like baby, and I need to work on that. When he took me to meet more of his friends, I wasn't talkative, and I sat there on my phone. I could have a little conversation, but it was awkward, and again, I didn't converse. IDK. I met most of his people, but this time, I don't know. I'm the type of person to when no one talks to me, I'm not going to put myself out there. He was pretty upset after the fact and said our relationship was pretty much over at that point, because I gave off a rude impression to some of his friends. I tried explaining to him that, again, I have little words. My own family knows that I don't really talk to people. I was shy, it's a new city, and half of them probably hang out with his exes. I just wish he knew I was happy with him. I tell him I love him, he doesn't believe me. I loved him enough to move across the country, leaving all my family and friends behind, for him to be closer to his friends. And yeah, I get along with them, but when I'm around big groups, it's hard for me. I'm lonely here. And he's the only person I got. I just don't know how else to show affection to him. Stopped reading after 20F, 28Me, and married for 3 years. If you got married at 17, 18, how long exactly were you dating prior to that? You've been groomed by this guy. Leave him and get into therapy, OP. How about you folks? Any thoughts for her situation? Just leave your comment here down below, and let's read a comment from other folks on Reddit community. From Blanket Statement 5, OP, the words he's saying are literally textbook emotional abuse. Saying exactly the words, I do everything, you never do anything for me, is so common, it's pretty much the stereotype of an abuser. You can't fix this because you didn't do anything to cause it. I'm not sure if you're ready to hear this yet, but frankly, the only way you're ever going to be able to be truly safe and happy is when you are free of him. See you on next post, folks.